Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. It's great to have your company here on the Erin Molan Show. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend. So much to get you through. Let me give you a little preview of my interview that is coming up with a man called Tzvika. His son Eitan is still hostage in Gaza. He's a father who clearly loves his son very much, but there's something different about his story, something unique. He puts Israel, the country, the welfare of its people ahead of his son. Essentially, he doesn't want a hostage swap deal where terrorists are released. It is so hard to comprehend how a father would essentially not say, do anything to get my son home, but it's so powerful. His story needs to be listened to. And when I ask him about his son and whether or not he believes his son would agree with the perspective and agree with his stance, his response, it will give you shivers. So make sure you hang around for that. Let me now get you up to date with everything. Now, the accused killer of Charlie Kirk still not cooperating with police. A lot of talk about different conversations that may have appeared online prior to the murder of Charlie Kirk. Police are talking to the transgender roommate of the accused killer. It just gets murkier and murkier. But I tell you what was not murky in any way, shape or form over the weekend. And the words of his wife, Erika, Charlie's wife, who spoke for the first time. I watched it go to air live, and from where she gets her strength, I mean, I was about to say I don't know, but clearly God. They are incredibly religious. Their faith is everything to them. And the way she spoke was so inspiring, so strong, so beautiful, and would have given people so much hope. I was looking at something yesterday, and I think the chapters where people have signed up to Turning Point USA, nearly 10,000, I think, since his death, which is insane. So for anyone who thought this movement was going to die because Charlie Kirk did, is sorely mistaken. I want to talk about what makes what he did so unique in a second, but first let's just have another quick listen to a bit of Erika Kirk's speech. It was incredible. Have a listen.
I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
Yeah, she is an incredibly special person. And you can absolutely see why he fell madly in love with her. They went for dinner for what was meant to be a job interview. And at the end of the job interview, Charlie said to her, "You didn't get the job. And the reason is because I want to date you." And she tells the story. It's very entertaining. It's very sweet. But I think with her, maybe at the helm, maybe not, I think Turning Point USA is in really good hands. Ben Shapiro said this.
Now, it's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all, I am sure, because we're Americans and we're not going to be deterred. Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words: fuck you.
So there will be a lot of people that will now move into this space, I think, but it's difficult, right? This is not just about sitting in a studio and telling people what you think and how you feel. And by the way, that's not easy either. What made Charlie so unique was his willingness to engage, and not just to engage with people who may disagree with him, but to engage with people who were specifically there to catch him out. And that's what he did that was very different. Very different. People would go to those events to try and catch him out. So to put yourself in a position where there are cameras everywhere and to expose yourself, to be vulnerable, and it's so vulnerable. And now we realize it was vulnerable in a completely different way as well. But to do that is very special and very difficult, and not a lot of people can do that. The breadth and depth of subject matter that he had to be across to be able to confidently go into that environment where, you know, little smart aleck students would be trying to catch him out or throwing things at him they thought might stump him. They never did. And then, you know, you look at what happened to him, and the only way anyone could ever beat him was to do that. So the element of Charlie Kirk and Turning Point, the thing that, and I don't think it can ever be replicated in the way that he did it, but the thing that needs to be focused on is that part of it. They need to find people who are willing to put themselves in very vulnerable situations and risk being caught out, risk maybe not knowing, and that's okay. Charlie always knew. His ability to retain information was second to none. But we need to find people who are willing to do that, and willing to do that with young people, and willing to go out to places now. I mean, people struggled to do it prior to what happened to Charlie Kirk because it's scary. And that was prior to what happened to Charlie Kirk. So to now try and find people who are not only going to be brave enough to be vulnerable and put themselves in that position, but now people who will have to accept there's an element of risk to their life, which is just insane. Insane. I wanted to also talk to you a little bit about 9/11, which of course happened the anniversary over the past couple of days since I've been off air. And it's something that still makes me feel physically ill every year when there are commemorations, and every year when people talk, and when women who were pregnant and lost their husbands and now that child is getting married talk. It feels very raw. And I think particularly at the moment when we look at the threats and the challenges to the West and to the way of life that I value, and I know most of you value and care deeply about preserving, I look at the reaction of the world to 9/11 in the West. Yes, those terrorists and people who believe in what they do celebrated. But in terms of anyone in the West, particularly not the masses who would have tried to ever justify it, ever, back then, it non-existent. Yes, you had your nutcases and whatever else, but 99.99999% of people would not have dreamed of trying to justify it. Yet fast forward to the exact same enemy, by the way, Islamic extremism, terrorism, the exact same enemy that struck on October 7. Yet the reaction of the world has been essentially the complete opposite. I was reading this transcript of a man called Todd who led the attack on the terrorists on that plane, the one that was headed either towards the White House or the Pentagon. And I don't know why, but it was almost more powerful in written form, and it was a transcript of his conversation with an operator. And his wife, I think, was pregnant at the time, and he had little kids. And once the operator told him what had occurred, that there were already airplanes that had gone into buildings, and he understood what was about to happen to them, to be so brave and to have so much courage, knowing that you will die. And he got a group of passengers together, and they determined themselves that there was no option other than for them to die. But they'd be damned if they were going to let that plane kill other people unnecessarily or strike the US at its core, at those buildings where national security is paramount, where the president resides. And I was trying to comprehend how our society has shifted so significantly since then, and trying to understand the rot that has occurred, that now has young people and old people and people who would not have dreamed about reacting in the way they have post-October 7, post-9/11. Would not have dreamed. And I understand there's the Jewish element, absolutely. That in and of itself is insane. But this woke rot that has festered, and we've allowed it to fester. We have sat by idly for 25 years and allowed it to fester, allowed it to come in like a cancer and attack everything that we are meant to hold dear, and everything that my dad, that your forefathers, that a lot of you watching, a lot of veterans were willing to give your life for, whether it be in America, in the UK, in Europe, here in Australia. And how disgraceful, particularly for those who did give their life to protect what we value in the West, or what we're supposed to value, how disgraceful that we have allowed the West, that people have died to protect, to turn into something that is unrecognizable. So looking at those memorials and looking at the commemorations, it really got me thinking, this is the same enemy. It's the same enemy. But you could not have had more stark differences in the reactions as a whole. And that is disgraceful. Now, Tommy Robinson, we had him on the show just recently, and he said this about the rally.
To me, about the state of our nation, but I don't think it's time to get depressed. It's time to really rally the troops because the country is ready. It's not just the country. We're seeing your scenes out of Australia today. The entire West, this attack on family, on identity, on culture, hasn't just happened in Britain. It's not just happening in Australia. All of our countries are being flooded. All of our countries are under attack. Every one of the Western nations, the most successful nations in this world, are being obliterated and attacked. And I think now the people are finally waking up. So I'm excited about September 13th. I'm excited about the fact that everyone's awake. And we're going to send a message to the world on September 13th from Great Britain, and hopefully it gives inspiration to many others.
Millions took to the streets in the UK and said, enough. Enough. We are not going to allow you to label us as racists or Islamophobic or bigots because we want to protect and preserve our way of life and we want to protect our daughters. That stuff doesn't work anymore, and it only works if people let it. Have a listen to a little bit of what Tommy had to say.
For the last 20 years, there has been a globalist revolution. They have attacked the family, they've attacked Christianity, they've opened the borders, they've flooded our nations. We are the start of a counter-revolution. They managed to silence us for 20 years with labels. Racist, Islamophobe, far right. They don't work anymore. The dam has well and truly burst.
It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I would love to have been a fly on the wall at Starmer's place. Can you imagine? I don't know why I'm thinking like Baldrick, but I can just imagine him. Baldrick, how many are there? 1,000 or 2, Baldrick? Baldrick goes, apparently millions, Prime Minister. Ah! Ah! And then he would have felt relieved because he would have thought, yeah, but do you know what? The mainstream media will say still it was only a few thousand. So no one will know. He would feel sick, and so he should. So weak, so weak, so weak, so weak. Now, someone who is not weak, Danny Danon, at the UN, Israel's long-suffering representative, super impressive guy, gave an incredible speech addressing the concerns of the UN regarding Israel's attack in Qatar. I mean, God forbid anyone at the UN might express even an iota of concern about Qatar harboring terrorists. No, don't be silly. No, they're much more concerned. But it's so interesting because as he references, they actually passed a motion back after 9/11, which enabled nations to do exactly what Israel did. Have a listen.
In the aftermath of 9/11, the countries that uphold freedom, equality, and democracy in this council stood shoulder to shoulder. 2 weeks later, this council adopted Resolution 1373. It said plainly, no state may harbor terrorists. No state may fund them. No state may give them safe haven. I urge you all to read this resolution. Any government that does so breaks this council binding obligations. And when bin Laden was eliminated in Pakistan, the question asked was not, why target a terrorist on foreign soil? No one asked that question. The question was, Why was a terrorist given shelter at all?
I mean, you wouldn't read about it, would you? And by the way, just from a broadcasting perspective, just a little request here from little old me at the Erin Molan Show to the United Nations, because I know you guys are big fans of my stuff. Huge fans. Like, I mean, to be honest, 90% of my views, no doubt. But I will make sure you see this because I think it will help you. Can you please have cameras on every single person in there? Particularly like when Israel is speaking, I want a camera on Qatar, on Iran. I want a camera on France. I want a camera on the I want to see the faces. Okay, I want to see their reactions. That, my friends, would take you to the top of the ratings. Top. Tell you someone who, well, had an opportunity to be at the top and then completely ruined it with this garbage. Her name is Hannah Einbinder. No idea who she is, never heard of her, not even going to Google her because I don't care. But she said this at the Emmys.
Finally, I'll pay the difference, sorry. Finally, I just want to say, finally, go Birds, and free Palestine. Thank you.
From Hamas. Play it again, please.
And free Palestine.
From Hamas.
And free Palestine.
From Hamas.
And free Palestine.
From Hamas.
And free Palestine.
From
And
Hamas.
free Palestine. And
From
free
Hamas.
Palestine.
You're welcome. I fixed it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's lovely, wonderful to be back on this Monday. And I'd now like you to meet someone incredibly special. Incredibly special. His son, held hostage, currently still in Gaza. An incredible young man called Eitan. But it's the stance this family has chosen to take that makes their situation incredibly unique. Please, enjoy. Tzvika, I want to start by asking you how you are. I can't even imagine.
Yes, so tomorrow is my birthday, 49. Yes, and probably Eitan will not be here. And I'm fine. I hope that my son is fine. I trust him. He's a really tough guy. He's a soldier, a combat soldier in IDF, as I. And we have faith that Eitan is okay and that we will see him come back.
Can you tell me what happened to your son and the way in which it happened? Because when you say how tough he is, that explains, I think, really well the kind of man that he is.
Yes. So, Eitan, on October 7, Eitan was a security guard at the Nova Festival and saved dozens of people before he was kidnapped. Eitan was kidnapped at 12:30 by civilians from Gaza, okay, with knives, and not by Hamas, by civilians, okay. And Eitan was told at 6:29 that is dismissed. He can go home, but Eitan chose to stay there and help people to go home, to evacuate from all this area of the festival. And then Eitan gave help to people that were injured by Hamas. Hamas was shoot people, and Eitan helped them. Then Eitan and other security guards started to look for survivals, and they find about 30 boys and girls that were hiding in the garbage and under burned cars and in the bushes. And they took them they started to run to a secure place. And about 12:30, Eitan and another security guard saw two girls that were lying in the ground, and they saw that both of them were raped by Hamas and killed, murdered, but one of them was still breathing. So Eitan took her on his shoulders and continued to run. And then she died. So Eitan went back and put it in a pit that he saw before. And he came back to take the another body, and then terrorists saw him and started to shoot him. So Eitan was lying in the ground and ran away. And on 12:30, terrorists and the civilians caught him and took him to Gaza.
It says so much, doesn't it, about what someone values. Just that he was caught trying to rescue bodies. That's how much Israel values life, and your people value life versus the enemy, doesn't it?
Yes, of course. I think that this is our education here in my house. I didn't tell you that, but we were parents of 8 kids, 4 boys and 4 girls. And it's very regular here in my town that we have big families. Okay, we have here families with 10 and 12 kids, and we educated our children that the state of Israel is the most important thing in our life, and we have to do everything to make sure that we will continue to exist here.
Wow. You are different to a lot of hostage families, and that I think explains why, what you just said to me then. Can you explain why you put the interest of your country and people ahead of the individual, your son, who you love so much?
Yes. Look, I don't want my son to stay in Gaza. I want him to be here. I think to come home. I want to hug him. But I think that the best way and the only chance that I will hug my son is to crush Hamas. Okay, to force Hamas to give us all our people. I don't think that all these deals with Hamas to separate the hostages to groups of 8, 10, 3, all this stuff, I think that it's terrible. It's terrible. And as you know, Hamas didn't provide a list from day one, and Hamas didn't allow to the Red Cross to visit our people. So the meaning is that Hamas can say that he has only 15 hostages, and he don't know what about the rest. And Hamas didn't provide a video or photo of my son. So we afraid that Eitan will stay there in Gaza for 10 years. So I think that we have to force Hamas to release the hostages. And when I was born on the 70s, in the 70s, it was very clear for all the Western world, and especially in Israel, that we're not negotiating with the terrorists. And there were a lot of cases of hijacks and hotels um, and schools that tourists came to schools and took students. And in all these cases, okay, Israel rescued the hostages and forced the terrorists to surrender. And the first time that Israel was surrendered was in 1979. Terrorists in Lebanon took one Israeli soldier, and in the first time Israel paid to the terrorists 76 terrorists from the Israeli jail. And after that, in 1985, it was a Jibril deal. Israel released more than 1,000 terrorists for 3 soldiers. Okay, and after that was the first Intifada and the Oslo Agreement and the second Intifada, and I think that Israel became more and more weak against the terrorists, and I think that I have the mission to stop this terrible situation. We want to be safe in our only little country. We want our babies and kids and grandkids to raise here in a security place. So we have to be very tough with the terrorists. So we have 2 things here. One, as a father of Eitan, okay, I believe that this is the only way, and as a civilian of my lovely state, I believe that we have to stop it right now.
When did you last speak to him?
I was the last that saw Eitan a couple of days before October 7. We were in a trip, in a family trip in the north, and Eitan had to go back to his work. So I went. We were going together, and I gave him a hug and a kiss, and gave him some money. And I was the last from the family that saw him, and I was the last to talk with him by phone on October 6th. Okay, October 7 here in Israel was a Shabbat and holiday both. So and on Shabbat and holiday we were not having smartphone and media. Okay, we're going to the synagogue, and we're sitting together, the family. We have 3 meals together, and it's very special. I think that in the Western world it's very unique. Yeah. So we didn't know anything about what happened in the south on October 7 because the Arabs on Gaza are not shooting to the place that I'm living here in Hebron. Okay, Hebron is the second holy city for the Jewish nation.
Wow.
Okay, yes, and we are living here. Okay, and so the Arabs are not shooting to missiles to Hebron. So there are not sirens. We don't have a connect to the media, so we didn't know anything. And when we were sitting here for a meal, a very special meal, Eitan was kidnapped.
Wow. Have you heard or seen of anything since? When did someone who maybe was released see your son alive? Do you have any idea of his current condition?
Yes. So, when first of all, Eitan was missing for 10 days. Okay, and we were praying that Eitan was kidnapped and not waiting for us in a refrigerator in a bag. After 10 days, the Israeli intelligence told us that Eitan in Gaza for sure, but they don't know if he's alive. Just after 21 days, the intelligence came to our house and told us that Eitan is alive. Thanks God, he is alive. And there is only one hostage that saw Eitan. His name is Ron, and Ron was released by Putin. By Putin, yes, because Ron's parents came from Russia, so he has a Russia
Passport.
Yes, passport.
Yeah.
So Putin released him. So Ron was 50 days in houses of Arabs, okay, in Arabs in Gaza, and after 50 days, they took him to a tunnel, and there in a tunnel he met Eitan and another 3 hostages, and he told us that Eitan was okay, completely okay. He didn't injured, and he was very optimistic. And he encouraged all the hostages to be optimistic and happy and play together, and they had conversations, very deep conversations there. And the terrorists, 3 terrorists that were with them, gave them only 1 pita, okay. 1 pita. You know, in Australia, what is a pita?
Yeah,
Okay.
the pita bread,
Okay.
the little, yeah.
Yes. 1 pita and one jar of little jar of meat for 1 day for 5 men. But Eitan was very, very optimistic, and Eitan knows Arabic, so Eitan helped the hostages to talk with the terrorists.
You know your son better than anyone. I assume you know that he would absolutely agree with your stance.
Yes, absolutely. Look, on May, Eitan's birthday is in May 30. So we used to celebrate our kid's birthday on Shabbat, okay? Because on Shabbat everyone come home. We have soldiers here, okay? So I can remember that on the last May, before the war what began, we're sitting here in this table, and my children asked me about Shalit deal because they were little kids. So I told them on the history, and there were a conversation to release the terrorists or not release the terrorists. And suddenly Eitan told us that if he will be kidnapped as a soldier, it doesn't allow us to rescue him by releasing terrorists, because he don't want another Israelis to be killed because of him. And this exactly what I told my wife when I went to the Second Lebanon War on 2006 in Lebanon, that if I will kidnap by Hezbollah, I don't allow her to release me by releasing terrorists that will come again and murder Israelis.
Last question. I know your time is very valuable. Do you believe that he is alive and you will get him home?
Look, since October 7, we received 3 live signs from the Israeli intelligence. And from the last one was on March. Since then, we didn't get anything. But I believe, and I can feel it, that Eitan is okay. I trust him, that he is okay. And yes, I'm waiting for the day to hug my son. And I'm waiting to the day that Israel will win this war. We must win this war if we want to exist here.
You are an incredible man, an incredible family, and I'm so sorry for your pain, but he would be so proud of you. And thank you so much for sharing with us, and I will continue to fight for you as well.
Yes, I want to show you, you see?
Please,
my nail?
yes.
Yes, this is a special nail, you see?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, blue and white. It's not a yellow, like the yellow ribbon. It's the blue and white, because we are fighting for our independence.
Yeah.
Okay? To live in our little only country.
You are incredible. Thank you so, so much. And I pray for you and your family. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you for all what you're doing, for all the humanity.
Should never have to thank me. It's crazy. I'm so sorry for your pain. And again, he would be so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's incredible, isn't it? Unimaginable. And how blessed are those of us who never have to be in that position to make a choice like that. Time for fan feedback. And as I say each week, even if you hate me, if you are engaging with my content, you are a fan. Let's go in and have a quick look. Someone actually sent me an email telling me that the intro I do, the good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, is indeed from a Jim Carrey movie. So the Truman Show. That's right. Thank you so much, Mark, for sending that through. I really appreciate it because I was trying to figure out where I'd gotten it from. I mean, yes, I obviously had stolen it. I didn't make it up myself, but I like it because I feel like it's inclusive of people all around the world because this is a global show. Okay, I'm not going to say his name, but Erin, you're a star. However, every time I see you, you're dressing more and more provocatively. How should your viewers take you seriously? Guys, I mean, everyone has the right to have an opinion on what I look like, what I wear. I've said this before, my mother hates half the things I wear. I get it. But please know this now. You are wasting your time trying to encourage me or convince me to change. I won't. And you ask, dear man, how should your viewers take you seriously? Well, I'll tell you how my viewers should take me seriously because of the substance of what I say, because of what I fight for, because of what I stand for, not because of what I wear. That's how my viewers should take me seriously. Thank you so much for asking. Conor McGregor, when I spoke about him running for president, Bernie O'Rourke says, Conor McGregor is a child of Ireland and Ireland is beating in his heart. I'll be voting for him. He's a fighter. Someone said, I thought I was hearing actor Richard Harris. Sounds a bit like him. Now this one made me laugh out loud. But if he wins, Rosie O'Donnell might have to move to another country. Maybe he should use that in his campaign. I wonder if there's ever been an election where someone has won with 100% of the vote. 100%. I reckon if he does put that on his platform, we could see it for the first time ever in Ireland. But then she could go to France, her and Macron. Oh my God. They could do coffee. They'd be best friends. That'd be really sweet, actually. Seven Sins says, I totally understand this is off the back of one of my clips, but can you speak faster? You could have said all that in 45 seconds. I mean, fair point. But you try getting to a 40-minute show 3 times a week. If I just got here and said, hey guys, world peace, don't kill people, terrorists are bad, fight for democracy. Bye. I mean, it would be a pretty boring, short-lived show, wouldn't it? I use words. You're meant to enjoy them. You're meant to enjoy the way in which I express myself. And if you don't, then why are you here? Oh, the dirty woodsman. Why is this drivel being recommended to me? Drivel. I've not heard that word in so long. My mother used to always say the word drivel. What's this drivel? Or maybe it was my dad. No, actually, maybe it was Dad. Sounds like something Dad would say. What's this drivel? I don't know why it's being recommended to you, but give me a chance. The dirty woodsman, give me a chance. And you're a powerful and courageous woman, Erin, fighting for good and resisting evil. A very heartfelt message. And I'm allowed to read out a compliment because like 3 of them today were really not that nice. But again, thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging. I love you all. I really do. I'm so grateful for all of you here in this community. My favorite thing in the world to do is go through comments and read them. Not on articles, not necessarily on my social media, but on my YouTube. And podcasts, I don't think you can comment, but if you listen to the podcast, and I love you podcast listeners, and you want to comment, go onto my YouTube to the episode that you listen to and write me a comment because I read them all. So keep them coming. Love you all, and I will see you tomorrow in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, or the night. Take care.